Clanky wants to know, do I actually own a screen-used prop from Ghostbusters? I do not. I do not. And I don't feel like I need a specific prop from Ghostbusters. I don't think I need, I don't feel a burning, that's also not the kind of prop collector I am necessarily. And that's being informed by the fact that any real Ghostbusters props are surpassingly expensive because of how important the franchise is. And I'm not into spending huge amounts of money on my props. If it's going to be a very expensive outlay, that's why it's one of the reasons that I would choose to build them myself. And I have back there, I'm working on some Ghostbusters proton packs. I have parts and bits and pieces, and I've made one in the past, and I now have pretty much all the stuff ready for a Hero OG proton pack with mostly real parts. One thing that's been getting me, so once I got this suit and I did a tea staining on it and I washed it 5 or 6 times, then I went looking for my elbow pads and my gloves and all that other stuff. And there is a bin somewhere in my life that has like 4 sets of elbow pads, 2 sets of gloves, a whole bunch of belts, some of the leather carrier hardware for the walkies, and I cannot find it. It's been driving me batty. It used to sit at the base of my pool table, but then when I went and looked at the box that was at the base of my pool table, it was no longer that box. I've looked through all the boxes in storage. It's feasible I may have tossed it out. It didn't include anything super important. It didn't include anything that's irreplaceable, but it was a costume box full of some costume parts, and I have misplaced it. And it's, like I said, it's driving me just a little bit batty. But the follow-up question is, if there is a prop, if I could have any prop from Ghostbusters, if I could have any prop from Ghostbusters, what would it be? I mean, yeah, it would be the Ecto-1. Yes, it would be the Ecto-1. It's such a beautiful, beautiful film vehicle. It's funny that I'm building the Ecto-1 at the same time as off-screen I'm working on the DeLorean from Back to the Future, because they are two, along with the Blade Runner spinners, 2 of my favorite vehicles in film. Yeah, Blade Runner spinner is amazing. The first the first Christopher Nolan Batmobile, the Tumbler, beautiful. Yeah, the Aston Martin DB5. Those are some of my favorites, but it would be the Ecto-1. If I could wave a magic wand and the Ghostbusters prop could arrive on my doorstep, it's the Ecto-1. And I would use it to get pizza. I would use it every single day. I have no idea where I would park it here in the Mission. That would be a tall order. Peter Ferguson asks, have you ever considered making a proton pack? Ah, there we go. And if so, what elements do you foresee being the biggest hurdle? Well, my biggest hurdle is that I want an experience. And when I start to put those parts together to build myself my OG proton pack, I want that pack to feel like a real thing. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I want it to have a weight and a heft and a functionality that feels genuine. Not that it's going to shoot beams out of the front, but many of the parts that I have sitting up there are actually made of metal. The thrower wand is made of metal. Most of the bolt-on parts are welded aluminum. And that, to me, is exactly the kind of experience that I'm looking for. The coldness of the metal as I move the pack around, that's what I want. The biggest hurdle for me is that I don't like the blinky light pattern in the cyclotron. I just don't think it's that interesting. And so I would not replicate it in my proton pack, and I still haven't figured out necessarily what I am going to do for my proton pack. But I'm going to do something different than that lighting sequence. Yeah. There are few prop replicating groups that have achieved more specificity than the Ghostbusters fans. They know all the things. It's shocking. It's such a deep well of knowledge when you start to unpack it. And there are some perfect renditions that are literally almost indistinguishable from the original hardware. And I really appreciate that, but that is not the kind of replication that I'm interested in. So yeah, the biggest hurdle would be figuring out what that light pattern is. I have a couple of other tricks up my sleeve for the generator and some of the other parts, but suffice to say that 2021 will include some more Ghostbusters builds by yours truly. Last question. This is a username that is quite extreme. The username is, "In life I am dead, in death I am alive." So user, "In life I am dead, in death I am alive," wants to know, if you were in charge of one main set piece or prop for a new Ghostbusters, what would you like to work on the most? The inside of a proton pack. Yeah, I'd like to see all of the insides, all of how they work. I'd like to take it apart to its constituent components and see all the coils and windings and cosmoline and pitch and copper wire and relays and yeah. Yeah, it would look pretty amazing in there. That would be a really fun team to head up. As it is, my friend Ben Eady was one of the armor prop folks on the set, and the teams of people on the set for Afterlife did incredible work. I can't say specifically at what, but the fidelity achieved in the new film is a very satisfying thing. It was very important to production. Accuracy was super important, and it was achieved. I'm here to tell you. That was delightful. And I really think I may just rock this look for a few days. I'm not taking this off until the end of the day. That's for sure. I really appreciate you guys letting me do a little bit of cosplay. The Ghostbusters theme for questions was an awesome one. It was such an important movie. 84. So I was 16, 17 years old. And there's this point in which is it true? Right. The mayor and the villain are talking to Danny Aykroyd and Bill Murray. And Danny Aykroyd says, until Dick was over here, pulled the plug. And the mayor turns to Bill Murray and says, "Is this true?" And Bill Murray says, "It is true. This man has no dick." It's hard to explain just how funny that was in an audience full of people who were loving the crap out of that movie at that moment. I mean, I remember a roar in the sold out movie theater I saw that movie in. A roar of how funny that joke was. Oh my God, that dry, perfect delivery. And I think the editors even pause in the edit so that you have time to laugh. That is true mastery. That's my last Ghostbusters memory for you today. Thank you guys so much. Please stay safe, wear your masks, do social distancing, and hopefully we'll be able to shake hands in the future. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Thank you so much for watching that video. Your viewership keeps the lights on here at Tested, and we are grateful. If you'd like to support us further, well, by all means, follow some of the links below to our merch store where we've got some Christmas specials going on. A limited edition Tested rickshaw ornament. We've only got a couple hundred of these, and when they're gone, we're never making any more. We also have the Tested logo ornament. Both of these change color sitting on your tree. And if you do get them and you do hang them on your tree, why, we'd love to see pictures. Nothing pleases us more than seeing our merch out in the real world. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, and see you in the new year.